and the extras. He is a, thank you, John. It is the second language for me.
I am looking forward to eating a lot of turkey next week and all the fixings. Actually, my son and I are planning on making 4 pies. So we'll see how that turns out. I'd like to talk to you today about fear. Didn't expect that. I'll tell you some of my fears. Needles. I don't like needles. I can tell you a story about my firstborn. I was in the labor room with my wife at the time, and she had all these epidurals and needles and all this stuff. And she's going through one of the toughest things she can possibly go through in her life. And the baby's about to come out, and old Spirito here is like about to pass out because it had all these needles. And, yeah. So needles is one of the things that I fear. The dark. Does anybody fear the dark? Just me? I don't like the dark. I like it light outside. I saw a movie called I Am Legend. Anybody see that? Will Smith? And after that movie, I would look outside and see those horrible creatures' eyes out there. I'm going to speak about how a dichotomy here, actually. I had a coruscation last night. And I thought about how do we overcome fear? One way you could do it, or the way I came up with is, why not trick yourself into believing in yourself? And how do you do that? You do that with humor. Why do I choose humor? You can think back to a funny time. Have you heard this? I'm sure you've heard this before. Fake it till you make it, right? I have a firm belief in that from Toastmasters. Can you, Toastmasters, remember back to when you came up the first time for table topics? How frightened you were, right? I mean, your tongue was probably heavy, your hands were sweaty, you were thinking you're going to make a fool of yourself, but you faked it till you made it because you believed in the people around you were going to support you, and hey, this must work. I see these other people speaking, and you got up there and did it. I think you can use that idea in a lot of things that you do in life, and you may reach something that you didn't think you could reach. I'll tell you a story about myself when I went to college. I went to the University of Florida, and it was the first time really I was away from home. I grew up in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And my dad drove me to school, and he dropped me off, and I didn't have a car. I was a freshman. I guess I was 17, 18 years old. And I was showing up to try to play college football. And I went into the dining hall that night. I remember this pretty well. And it just seemed like that everybody had, these people were about a foot taller than most humans. And I just remember going, how am I going to compete with these people? But I had some help out there. I had a bunch of cocky guys out there that would talk more than they can really do. Have you ever realized that? A lot of times the people that talk really don't have anything behind what they're doing. But as a young guy, you don't realize that. You get intimidated by all these people that talk about how great they can do things. So I remember my first coach, a defensive back coach. I played defense. I was told on another speech I should speak about football a little bit more because not everybody knows about football. I was on defense, which means I'm tackling the guys. And we had a coach. I actually played the last man on the field. The quarterback, everybody knows the quarterback, right, on offense. He's the last guy on the offense, right? And then I played free safety, which is on the total opposite side, where I'm reading that quarterback and nobody is allowed to get behind me. Because if anybody gets a touchdown, it's my fault. I'll go into a little bit about this one coach we had. His name was Zven Uralian. I think he was Croatian. I don't think he was brought up by mom and dad. I think he was raised by wolves. He played semi-pro ball, and I remember as a young guy, the first month of practice, we just practiced in shorts, no contact. And, I mean, you're beat after those first couple of weeks. And I remember Coach Uralian coming in and saying, "Men, I know you guys have been waiting to hit all this time, and I know you're ready to hit. I know you're so ready to get out there and hit, especially you younger guys. You want to show what you can do, right?" Yes, and I'm going, And he goes, "Yes, man. So I tell you what they're going to do. Okay, when those guys come inside our secondary, I want you to hit those guys. I want you to take your helmet, put it in their chest. They're going to pay for every play that they come into our secondary. They may catch some balls, but they're not going to want to catch the next one. And men, have fun." I bring that speech up a lot because I love that. At the end, and have fun. I will skip to the end here because I see I have a yellow light. My last, I guess my junior year, towards the end of the season, we were playing Florida State. I was in a practice. I broke my nose in practice. I ran into, we both were running for the ball, and his elbow came through. Lots of blood. Got it set that night. And so the coaches came in and said, "Well, John, I know you want to play against Florida State." This is where I faked it. Yeah, I want to play against Florida State. It was in 3 days. So before the game, they taped my nose up. That's basically all they could do. And I pumped my helmet up, or they pumped my helmet up real big. And they said, "Just try not to have full contact on anybody. You should be all right. I don't think it's going to hit you. If it happens to hit you, you could break your skull, you know, but that's probably not going to happen." So anyway, I come into the first play that I was getting called in. The coach said, "John, you ready to play?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so. Coach." It was like, you can't play football halfway. So the next time I came in, I faked it till I made it. I said, "Yeah, I'm ready to run through walls." So I ran down the field, and I hit this guy full speed, and I had my best hit of my life, and the camera was on me at the sidelines. So what I'm saying to you is, fake it till you make it, use some humor, and you may accomplish something you never thought you could accomplish.